So here we have all of the game size pieces for our Halloween Satan. And it was nice and convenient that all of those pieces on the sprue were marked as such. So if I can get it in focus here, you'll see the larger pinup model display pieces are all labeled with an A, whereas all the pieces that are cut off, obviously, are going to be labeled B. So there shouldn't be any confusion there. So the actual pieces themselves, let me talk a little bit about how they're going to go together. The first thing you want to notice is there's a little slot in the back of her rear end here. That's going to be for the tail. You're going to want to attach that before you actually attach her body to the cloak, or if you want to paint it first of all, that's all on you. So it's going to just slot in like this. I'm not going to worry about it too much. There is all that extra detail if you really want to paint it in, but it's not going to matter because you're not really going to be able to see it at all. So that is completely up to you. There's two little slots on the cape itself where my thumbs are, and that's going to be, well, there's one sticking out and one indentation on this side. That's going to be where her arms actually slot in. So you don't need to necessarily glue the body and then the arms. You probably can get away with gluing the body, glue the arms, paint the back of the body if you want it, attach it all, obviously with the legs probably as well. I'm going to go ahead and paint all that before I do glue the legs on. And then, let me see here. Obviously we need to have the chest attached. It is a Kingdom Death model and the sun seems to be blasting its way on, so I better move it. You do get an extra pitchfork because it's a Kingdom Death model. We have the basket of phalluses that you're going to get to put on her arm. That's going to be outstretched. And then the head itself is two pieces that I'm going to line up like that if the sun is going to let me. I'm going to move where I am sitting right now, and we will try this again later. And Halloween Satan is all nice and finished, or as close as she's going to be to finished, because you know what? Boop, just like I said, makes painting her a lot easier. So the rest of her is all put together, but it's a really nice, easy, simple lining things up. She is a bit on the bigger side. She's not a super gigantic model. I just have a resin chambermaid nearby so you can see her a good size representation. And if you were ever going to use any of these models, I don't know why you have a Halloween Satan running around. Well, if you're going to have her fight warrior women, for example, from Raging Heroes, or, oh, where's our witch hunter friend? He always likes to hang out and check out the scantily clad ladies. He's a dirty old man, unfortunately. He's seen things. So just be aware that when you do pick up any Kingdom Death plastics, they do tend to be more towards the 32, 35 millimeter scale rather than the smaller stuff. But now it's time to move on to the big giant 54 millimeter pinup version. So having cut all the pieces off the sprue, it is still quite an intimidating look at our super deluxe pinup version of Satan for Halloween here. Obviously, the base is going to be one of the easier things to figure out. So you've got the main pumpkin, and then you've got all of the sausage fest going on there. But they're not sausages. Yeah. I've got the kids sitting around over here, so we'll keep it rated G. So I believe it's going to sit like this on the base. We'll play around, and I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to go. It seems to want to lean naturally one way or the other. I think what I'm going to do is attempt to build the body first. So obviously that's her rear end. That's an easy one to identify. It is a Kingdom Death model after all, so it's nice and obvious. Looking at the legs, I'm guessing this one's going to go like this, because she's supposed to be sitting on the pumpkin. And we've got a nice, obvious spot for the other leg. So that seems fairly easy enough, right? Let's start with that and the pumpkin itself. And then her chest is going to go right on top like that. I think we'll go ahead with that. And our head should be a few parts as well. Let's see. I don't know what I'm looking at there. Okay. Face and horns. That we can handle. We'll do that first, and then we'll figure out how the ponytail goes on and how that all attaches to the collar as well. One thing at a time, right? here we go. Base, check it out. So far, so good. Obviously, we figured out the right angle. I'm not worried about the base. It's not attached anyway, so we'll deal with that later. We got the head at least started. I'm figuring since the cloak is going to kind of help us position the body like so, I'm going to go ahead and glue the head and the hair onto that. And then it looks like underneath the cloak you can see there's an indentation for her right arm. And I'm not sure about the left. We'll figure that out. Let's get the right arm and the head attached to the cloak along with the cape. And then there's this lantern. Might as well put that together. It's pretty simple, just 2 parts. Progress continues. So I'm pretty sure I've got her head all attached right. It looks like her hair is going to, besides get stuck to my hand, rest kind of on her knee, because it seems to be where everything is going to line up. There wasn't actually any kind of alignment for the collar and the rest of the head. It just kind of seemed to fall into place. So it seems that the next step is going to be attaching the arm, which is going to kind of rest in this little crevice between both her body and the cloak. I'm not sure how that's going to work in terms of gluing things. So it's like we're gonna slide it in there, and it's, yeah. It's going to be a fun one. I think it's actually going to glue to the cloak rather than to the body itself. And I'm not 100% sure how that other hand's going to go in there. That's basically it. We're going to glue this hand across, and then we have to figure out where that pitchfork's going. And finally, we have her tail, but I'm just leaving that off right now because it's very thin, and I'm sure I'll break it, and then the lantern. So we're almost there. It's almost finished. Hooray, I kind of actually figured it out. It wasn't as bad as I had thought it was going to be. Let's get her all done. And we are just about finished. So I kind of figured out, like I said, the arm is actually going to attach to the cloak to make it work. And I let it sit too long and it's starting to glue together. And she's going to hold on to her hair like so. Everything slides into place. You've got her hair on her knee. She's admiring herself and how amazing she, or it, or her, or him. I don't know what the official pronoun for Satan is in Kingdom Death, but yeah. I'm going to keep that tail off until the very end just because it's so thin. And I figured out the way that this pitchfork of hers is at an angle like this, the lantern's going to hang on it. There were little indentations there, and it looks like there's a little spot between her legs that it's actually going to jam into the pumpkin, and then it's going to sit there off to the side like so. And I'm pretty sure I got it right, so hopefully that is correct. And as I precariously try to balance everything together, I gotta say, nice little, not necessarily little, because if we actually put her up with a typical gaming model, she's quite large, as is the case with just about every single Kingdom Death model. But I think she'd make a fun little Halloween-themed giant, or some kind of a devil, succubi, demon, what have you, for whatever game you're playing. I think you can definitely get some gaming use out of her still. So, not a total bust, even though it is a bust. No, it's not a bust. It's a pinup. That's the word I was thinking of. She's got a large bust. I don't know. I think of all of these pinup models so far, she's probably the most game-worthy. I think you can get away with her and her phallic pumpkin as she, you know, innocently, not so innocently, murders any would-be male do-gooders. So, cool model. I like the gaming one more. I would put her in the video, but she's half painted and we got to finish her up. So definitely glad to have this model done, and hopefully as the Halloween season gets closer and closer, this is nice and informative for those of you who are going to be keeping an eye out for her, because I'm sure she'll be in the Kingdom Death store for Halloween, as she has been in the past. So with that said, this is High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, and thanks for watching. We'll see y'all later. Bye bye.